12 months of preparation, a week-long tournament with 10 games and 3 minor finals have led to this afternoon. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. My name's Cameron Walter alongside former Queensland player and coach Greg Donnelly as we welcome you to the grand final of the Australian Indoor Cricket Championships to take place between the Australian Capital Territory and Queensland. Good afternoon, Greg.
Good afternoon, Cameron. How are you? Looking forward to this game?
Certainly am. I think we should probably declare our biases up front. I've just outed you as a former Queensland player and coach. I'm an ACT administrator myself, so just like on the court, it's ACT versus Queensland, Greg.
Yeah, absolutely. I think the ACT side's been a side in the building for the last couple of years, and I think Billy Floros in charge has done a great job with them, and hopefully they'll get their rewards today. I'm sure that's what they're thinking.
I'd certainly hope so. Both of these sides really well coached. As you say, we're very fortunate in the ACT to have Billy Floros, who's got a wealth of experience, not just as a coach but as a player, a former Australian representative himself and one of the most capped individuals at the national level. In Queensland, of course, the beneficiary of the coaching of Brenton Bryan, who himself an international player at the Masters level. Phenomenal brain for cricket and doing well with that Queensland side as well. Yeah,
look, I think Queensland have struggled a little bit during the week. They've been up and down. They've had a couple of injuries, but we've always been very proud of the depth that we've had in this state. So we'll actually see how much we've got.
Yeah, true. And the coach himself, Brenton Bryan, spoke about that before the semi-finals when he talked about how big a loss it is to lose the Queensland captain Lyle Teskey in terms of what he brings to the side in terms of leadership. But one of the strengths that you've identified there is the depth that Queensland have and the fact that they've been able to cover Teskey's absence with not just the ability of the rest of the squad but also the leadership, both with the experience of a player like Rob Fitzgerald, who's captained the team a couple of times this week, and the standing captain today, and Adam McDermott.
Yeah, like they've all been working hard for this and they'll be trying to play for their captain, but he will be a big loss, but I'm sure they'll overcome it.
Now, Queensland did finish on top of the table after the minor round. Their games against the ACT, it's 1-1. So the ACT won the first match, Queensland won the second, and then the ACT won through to the grand final first by virtue of their victory in the major semi-final last night. Queensland had to play a second game that night where they managed to get in front of a fast-finishing South Australia. So Queensland have played the extra game. As you say, they have carried a couple of injuries. I wonder if that'll play a role today.
Yeah, both sides are a very young side, and if you can't get up for a national final, I don't think you're ever going to get up for anything. So I wouldn't think that fitness would play too much of a part. I think it'll be how well the teams have prepared, what they've done in training as a preparation, and how much they actually apply themselves during the course of the game.
Now, both these squads at this tournament with 12 players, so that does help take the fatigue factor out. I know Queensland for a long time have come away with 12 players, probably the first to do that consistently and use that to their advantage. The ACT, first time for a while we've come away with 12, and you can see them all lining up there now as we go and stand by for the national anthems. The national anthem, we're not on an international, Greg, but the national anthem, and we'll pick up our centre coverage now.
On our National Open Championship Grand Final day, the last 2 games for today is in the women's national final. We have got sides from Victoria and South Australia with the umpire Andrew Hall-Villiers, and in the national men's final we've got sides from the ACT and Queensland, and the umpire is Michael Guest. Could I ask you all to please be upstanding for the Australian national anthem?
And that's a good way to fire up the teams for the grand final. The team's shaking hands now. That's a good opportunity for us to run through the sides. Greg?
Yeah, certainly. The ACT side to be coached by Billy Floros, to be captained by Matt Floros, with Vinesh Bennett, Luke Ryan, Tim Floros, Grant McDonald, Benji Floros, Brock Winkler and Matt Latham. A very young side, and I'm sure they'll be ready to go. The Queensland side to be coached by Brenton Bryan, their captain Adam McDermott, with Andy Byrne coming back in for Andrew Royko, Andrew Boyle, Rhys Dearness, Rob Fitzgerald, Corey Galloway, Simon Landrigan and Hayden Searle.
Yeah, Queensland have made a change there, as you say, to that team. Royko coming out of the side, bringing Andy Byrne back into the team. Andy Byrne did play the major semi against the ACT, but didn't play the prelim against South Australia last night. Searle came into the prelim in favour of Andy Byrne, and Royko unlucky to miss out in the game today.
Yeah, I think that they've made a couple of changes, so I think Brenton would have been, the last thing he would have thought he would have lost was the Australian captain and his Queensland captain, Lyle Teskey, so he might have been having a little bit of trouble with the balance of his side, so hopefully by the end of today he's got it right.
Let's hope so. You mentioned the ACT young side, that's spot on. Benji Floros recently picked in the Australian 17 side, currently competing in his second national tournament for the year. Also a little bit of an international flavour in the ACT side with Matt Latham, who, Greg, you will remember, played for the New Zealand A team at the World Cup in Wellington last year. So very interesting dynamics in the ACT side as well.
Yeah, well, I think Vinesh Bennett and Matt Latham will bring the experience to the side, and the rest of the boys will bring some youth and enthusiasm. So it's probably a very good mix, actually.
ACT have long been renowned for their ability to restrict teams to really low totals, and just talking to a couple of the umpires here during the tournament before this match, they've actually commented on the fact that the ACT, seemingly for the first time, have been able to replicate that sort of reputation with the bat as well. So perhaps for the first time the ACT have come away with a side that has the right balance in both disciplines.
Yeah, well, everything this week indicates that that's exactly the case. But inexperience sometimes it can be a good thing. They show no fear. Other times on the big stage it might be just a little too much for them. So yeah, we'll wait and see.
The hashtag is Indoor Opens, ladies and gentlemen. Do join in our coverage on Twitter. We'd love to hear from you, whether you're an ACT or a Queensland fan, or if you're just a fan of indoor cricket in general. Do help us get the word out. We like as many eyeballs on the coverage as possible. If, of course, you're watching through indoor.cricket.com.au or through the Cricket Australia live app. Let's get our fantastic game out to the world. It looks like Grant McDonald will be bowling the first over for the ACT, and the Queensland batsmen, Landrigan and Fitzgerald.
Yeah, very important for Queensland to get off to a good start, and equally as important for the ACT to take a wicket. So let the games begin.
Too short and too wide there to start with from McDonald. An easy 2 runs for Landrigan.
Yeah, certainly not the ideal length to be bowling.
Queensland won the toss and elected to bat, which is exactly what the ACT did in the major semi-final. About the same line and length there, that ball moving a little bit back in towards the batsman, but Fitzgerald up to it, hitting 2.
Yeah, he's still bowling with a little bit too much width. He needs to tuck them up and make them play across the line, or hopefully just play straight back down the pitch.
Yeah, getting tighter with each delivery, but the length allowing Landrigan to rock back and hit that again for 2. That's 6 runs so far through cover point.
Yeah, Queensland will be happy with the first 3 or 4 balls, I'm sure of that.
Almost 3 carbon copies so far as Queensland move to 8. Quite right, Greg, that Queensland will be happy with that. It's a good way to ease your way into a national final with 4 2s in a row.
Yeah, but the line and the length that he's given, I think that I could nearly hit those. So, yeah, we need to get him on track.
Yeah, McDonald has been one of the form bowlers for the ACT, so we won't really be happy with that start, compounded with that wide. Got 1 ball to get it right now. Yeah, more width again, and Queensland finished with another 2, and that's 12 runs from the over. A fantastic start for Queensland.
Yeah, that's a perfect start. If you're an opening pair, anything around 10 is a great effort and a job well done. So they just need to build on that now.
It looks like the ACT are bringing, the captain's bringing himself on, Matt Floros, who's an incumbent member of the Australian team. He's part of the side that recently won the World Cup in Wellington. He's made the move up here to Queensland recently, so not an ACT resident anymore, but still part of the ACT squad. And so we probably know a little bit more about the Queensland players as well. That's a wonderful start, but a great call from Fitzgerald to call Landrigan through for a run.
Yeah, much better line, much better length. ACT need a wicket. They need to get themselves on a roll to get themselves started.
That's two really good balls from Matt Floros, but Rob Fitzgerald shows his experience and class there. Hits that for a 2. Sorry, a 1.
I was going to say it was a good bit of fielding to keep that off the net.
Just inside the line there.
Yeah, good ball. You can notice the difference the batsmen have been, now that the ACT have tightened it up, you can see that they're not free in their arms and that they've got to work a lot harder for their runs.
Landrigan taking a slightly more leg side stance in response to that.
Bowled him.
And that's allowed Matt Floros to get through him. That's 4 really good deliveries from the ACT captain. Landrigan allowing that wicket through, so that brings the score back to 9 runs.
Great length, great line. ACT needed that wicket. 2 balls to go in this over. Another wicket now, and the ACT would have their noses in front.
And there it is. That's not just a sensational delivery, the 5th one in a row from Matt Floros, but also a brilliant piece of keeping from Grant McDonald.
Was a great piece of keeping, good hands. He's got the bails off very quickly. Wasn't such a great shot from Landrigan though.
Final ball of the over now. And a little bit of confusion from the batsman. Plenty of traffic there from the ACT and a dot ball. And Greg, 2 for -8 from that over.
-8. A sensational reply to the first over by the ACT. So 4 runs after 2 overs. I'd nearly say the ACT have got the honours at the moment.
Yeah, certainly. We're talking a little bit, Greg, in the previous game, the LT's game, where Queensland managed to take out the national title, about how important it is for captains to stand up in games like this. And I think Matt Floros has just done that for his territory in his first over in that match. That was a formidable over.
Oh, wonderful over. And he actually showed the rest of his team what line and length they should be bowling.
And that will be followed up by another incumbent world champion in Vinesh Bennett, who's been a fixture in the Australian side for a number of years now. He'll bowl to his Australian opening batting partner in Rob Fitzgerald.
Yeah, well, I'm pretty sure that Vinesh will know what he likes and doesn't like.
Yeah, nice and tight to start with. And that's the 2nd dot ball in a row. So for those new to indoor cricket, this is now 3rd ball. When there are 2 consecutive dots in a row, on the 3rd delivery, the score has to change, whether it be from a run, an extra or a wicket.
Pressure's on Fitzgerald to get this ball away and get his partner home. Well bowled.
Certainly was, and just again, Fitzgerald just so calm. Didn't try to do anything too fancy. Got that away, and a good piece of fielding there from Latham to ensure that was just 1 run.
I'm sure at this stage of the game the ACT would be happy for Queensland just to be taking ones.
Probably have to put that down as a missed chance. That just going through the hands of Timmy Floros, who's at a square leg position there. Perfect delivery from Bennett.
I think you're a hard marker. I think that's a very difficult chance to take. But I tell you what, they've got Landrigan at 6s and 7s. He's reaching for anything. His foot's not near the pitch of the ball, and yeah, he's struggling a little bit.
There's more evidence of that, Greg. Vinesh bowling well and putting them on 3rd ball for the 2nd time. Yeah, look, I'll cop to being a harsh marker, particularly for my home territory, Greg. High expectations of the boys. 3rd ball now, Landrigan under pressure. The full and wide option, and he beats him, and Landrigan run out at the top end. Another great piece of work.
Oh, great bowling by Vinesh, though. He did him for pace. Everything that he was bowling was coming back into him, and that ball, he took it away from him. And Landrigan was at 6s and 7s from the time it left his hand.
And look, again, have to acknowledge the keeping from Grant McDonald. He did everything right then. Not only did he glove it cleanly, but he waited until he was forced to go to the top end and affected the run out. Good work from McDonald. And a dot ball to finish. Brings the over to an end. 1 for -4 from it. A sensational over for the ACT. Queensland, after 3 overs, haven't troubled the scorers.
Unbelievable. After the first over, the next 2 overs came on, pitched the ball up, did a little bit with it off the track, and have cleaned the batsmen up ever since. So I'm sure Coach Bryan won't be happy with this.
And Brock Winkler is coming on to bowl the 4th over for the ACT. Now, Brock's one of the younger players in this side, but has bowled several overs in this tournament that have proved to be match turners. So ACT looking to really, really make Queensland pay for their start so far. Good effort there from Matt Floros, but Landrigan getting bat on ball for the first time in a while. That'd be a little bit of a settler for him.
He was probably a little bit short and he just stepped inside it, played it down and up into the net. Virtually impossible to feel, so I'm sure that'll give him a little bit more confidence.
Probably too much width there from Winkler. I think he knows it, shows his disappointment. Fitzgerald gets 2.
He did get that to kick a little bit more though. I think it jumped on Fitzgerald a little bit more than he expected.
Good batting from Landrigan now. 2 runs to the total.
3 balls left in this over, and Queensland are 5 runs in the 4th over. They need to make sure they get the total to 10 and keep things moving forward for the next batsman.
And a leg side there, well left by Rob Fitzgerald. So in the last over of a batting pair in indoor cricket, the extras can be rebowled at the discretion of the batsman, and batting first when you're only on 5, well now 7. I'm not surprised that he took that extra delivery.
Yeah, the coach would have had words if he didn't.
Yeah. And another 2. So Brock just struggling with his areas here. Queensland have taken 10 runs off the over so far. 9 runs, I should say. 2 deliveries remaining. Yeah, 2 full there. Landrigan able to drive without fear.
Full toss on leg stump. Batsman wait for that.
Final ball of the batting pair. Dinesh Bennett giving some advice to his younger teammate. Bowls with some width. And out.
Got an edge. Jumped up on him. Queensland nearly dug themselves out of a hole there, but the last balls brought them back undone. Down to 8 for the first 4. New South Wales. The ACT certainly won't be disappointed with the start they're off to.
No, absolutely not. Especially after the first over. Queensland scoring 12 runs off the first over. Then again, as you say, Greg, rebuilding in the 4th over, but the ACT just kept working and produced that wicket at the end there. 8 runs off the first pair, and ACT would absolutely have their noses in front after 4 overs. Hashtag Indoor Opens on Twitter. Let's check in there now. Ty Hopes, a former Australian player from Western Australia, says looking forward to this one. Ben Schneider, good luck to Queensland, and especially Beenleigh Raiders, Simon Landrigan and Corey Galloway. Josh Creech, an ACT fan, come on Rockets. Troy Connors, mate of Brock Winkler, so he'll be happy with that wicket off the last ball. A little bit more from Kate Martin and Darren Wade, both supporting the ACT, along with Michael Strecker. A few more Queenslanders in there too, so shows that lots of people back at home watching the game and getting behind their teams.
Oh, this live streaming brings a new dimension to the game, and obviously the indoor cricket community is getting on board and fully supporting it.
As Ryan bowls to McDermott. Luke Ryan has been one of the, I think he's actually the statistical best performer for the ACT coming into the final series. Adam McDermott, the acting captain for Queensland, the leading run scorer for Queensland. So this will be an interesting matchup.
This is a big pair, for Queensland. They really do need to score 30 odd runs to get them back on track.
And a great shot there from Andy Byrne, who's come back into this team after missing out on the preliminary final, justifying his selection with that shot.
Still a long way to go.
Excellent delivery from Luke Ryan.
Absolutely, very lucky he got a leading edge on that. Lucky he never skied it straight back to the bowler. That was very expensive.
Yep, that's a 12-run turnaround.
Absolutely, I would have expected Vinesh to swallow that. I'm sure he's disappointed.
I think that might have got on him a little bit quicker than he was expecting. Hit the fingers and back net for 7.
Could be the little bit of luck Queensland was looking for.
And Byrne with another 3, and I think with the last few deliveries that's really brought the home crowd alive.
Yeah, the Queensland bench is all of a sudden up and at him as well.
Another 2 runs there. That's been a great over for Queensland with 16 runs coming from it. Crucial error there from the ACT to allow that 7 through. That would have been really put Queensland on the back foot.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm sure that Vinesh won't be happy with that, but you've got to move on and forget what's gone in front of you and worry about what's coming. So as long as he doesn't do it again, otherwise Billy Floros will probably be down having a chat to him.
Now Timmy Floros, who has represented the Australian men's team a couple of years ago in Sri Lanka and Singapore. Timmy will bowl the 6th over now to the Queensland captain. Just dragging a little bit short.
Yeah, he played that comfortably, just stepped inside of it and tucked it around the corner for an easy 2.
Now pushes it leg side. Byrne picked it up early and left it. Andy Byrne, another member of the current Australian team.
Yeah, that's an easy 2 runs that Queensland will gratefully accept.
Little change up there from Timmy. 2 runs.
Yeah, this pair's very quick between the wickets, so the ACT will have their work cut out trying to run them out. They're going to have to hit direct or very, very close to it.
Going short from Timmy Floros. It looks to me like that's a deliberate tactic, but McDermott up to the challenge.
Yeah, if you're going to bowl short, you can't bowl with width. You've got to be bowling in and at the body.
Fuller there is targeting Andy Byrne's legs and managed to catch him that time, so a dot ball with 1 ball remaining in the over. 8 runs off it so far.
I'm not so sure why they'd be bowling short. They've done all of the damage with deliveries that have been pitched up. So I'd be maintaining that philosophy until it started to go pear-shaped.
Case in point there. And that brings the over to an end, but another good one for Queensland. This pair have now raced to 24, halfway through their batting partnership.
Yes, this ball, first ball of this over is a 3rd ball, so there's going to be pressure on the batsman on strike to get that away and get his partner home.
And the ACT's Kiwi connection coming onto bowl now, Matt Latham. We really want to take advantage of that 3rd ball situation. Latham bowls around the wicket, full and wide, beats McDermott's bat, and despite a little fumble from the keeper, McDonald able to get the bails off and a run out.
Yeah, he basically bowled it with a little bit of width and yorked him. Played all over the top of that, so good work by the wicket keeper to get them off.
Well, that's what they needed, the ACT, to just settle things back down. Still a lot of work to do to get back in front from this pair. Latham coming back over the wicket.
What a great delivery. Absolutely. The ball's just cut him in two. Never got within a foot of that.
Andy Byrne will be really angry at himself. He would have faced Matt Latham in Wellington, so he knows what he's capable of.
His bat was nowhere near his front foot. It was so far away from his leg. It just opened up the gate, and Latham gratefully accepted it.
That's another sensational delivery from Matt Latham. 2 for -10 off the over so far. This is exactly what the ACT needed.
3 balls to go, and this over, another wicket, and the ACT are well back on top.
Has another top delivery. Byrne a little bit more controlled that time. Obviously got some bat on it, fended it away for 2.
Still wasn't played very comfortably. The ball moved late and come back into him. He was lucky to beat the field, actually. Be interested to see how McDermott takes this, whether he attacks the batsman or goes back and plays sensibly and just puts him into the net.
And he, at bottom edge, I believe, into Grant McDonald's gloves. The 3rd wicket falls for the over. We saw McDermott there take his batting stance well outside leg stump, moved in slightly, tried to chop it down for 2, got the edge.
That was clearly the worst ball Latham has bowled all this over. So he'll be happy to get a result from that delivery.
Easy 2 there for Queensland to finish, but the damage is certainly done in that over. 3 for -11. That brings the partnership back to 13 and the total back to 21.
Yeah, absolutely. 7 overs. If you would have told Billy Floros before the game starts that they'd be 21 after 7 overs, Queensland, he'd take that every day of the week.
The ACT would take that.
Yeah, I've done it again. I'm all over the shop. I'm just having a look out here, and there's more Floroses in the grandstands. There's Floroses on the court. There's every second name in the ACT Floros.
Benji to bowl. Bowls full and wide, and driven by McDermott for 4.
Yeah, you can't give him any width to free any room. Frees his arms up, and that's where it's going to go all day. Much better delivery.
Yeah, beats Andy Byrne there, Benji Floros. And for those watching our coverage, the Floros name might seem a little bit prevalent. Benji's dad and uncle, well, parents, they own a sports centre in Canberra, and so they've all grown up with indoor cricket, and that explains why they're all here now competing, and many of them spectating. And the older brother, contracted Queensland player and plays for the Brisbane Heat. I can see Jason Floros down there in the crowd as well.
Yes, I think the high performance coach at Queensland will be watching to see who he's barracking for over the course of the day.
Without a doubt. Great tight delivery there. Off McDermott's legs into the back corner for 1. So 6 runs off the over so far. 2 balls remaining in it. The partnership is fought back to 19 runs.
Both partnerships for Queensland have done exactly the same thing. The opening pair got off to a great start and then crumbled for the next 3 overs. This pair got off to a nice solid start for the first 2 and then crumbled. I'm sure the coach won't be happy with that.
Way too full from Benji Floros to finish, and another down up 3 for Byrne. So good over for Queensland to get that partnership back to 22, but with the damage done in the first pair, you think that the ACT would still be in front at this stage.
Oh, absolutely. Queensland would be extremely disappointed with that. Like they were 22 or something like that after the first 2 overs, and to finish on 22 would be more than disappointed.
Yeah, it's uncharacteristic for a Queensland side to throw away good starts like that. So
their philosophy's always been the same. If you get yourself a nice good start, don't let the other side back into the game. Play nice and safe and gradually just build a score. And both partnerships so far have played nothing like several, you could only term loose shots, and very uncharacteristic.
So we check in on Twitter again. with the hashtag Indoor Opens. The last man stands in Canberra, barracking for the ACT Rockets, unsurprisingly. Nick Dart and Cass Singh are fans of Queensland. And Jason from the ACT quite rightly saying that last over was an important one, but Queensland managing to get away with an extra 9 runs. Now, the incoming batsman for Queensland, yet another current member of the Australian squad in Reece Dearness, his batting partner, Corey Galloway. Brock Winkler will bowl the 9th over for the ACT.
This is a big pair for Queensland. Queensland need to score 30 runs here. That's certainly not the start that they want. That was a very loose shot down the track, come off the toe of the bat, and a great catch.
I'm almost speechless, Craig. That was surprising to see Reece Dearness do that, facing his first ball in a national final, running at it. I would not expect that of him.
No, neither would I, and I'm sure the coach wouldn't either. Reece is usually a very composed and batsman plays himself in and then punishes the loose ball from that point on.
And we, as another good delivery there from Brock and a good piece of fielding from Matt Floros, should mention how good a catch that was from Luke Ryan. Fielding relatively deep in the back court, managed to get into the front court there and take a diving catch low to the ground. And Queensland scamper through for a single. High risk, high reward that. Matty Floros, a good arm on him throwing to the top, but missing the stumps and allowing Queensland to run through for a single.
Good running between the wickets by Dearness. He literally stepped out of his crease and tempted him to have a shy at the stumps. He did. Balls beat the receiver and they snuck through for a single.
Good flight there from Winkler. Yorked him outside off stump. Dearness not running at that one. 2 to come. Great fielding off his own bowling there from Brock Winkler, not only saving the runs off the net, but to turn around and almost produce a run out.
A good bit of running by Dearness as well. He was on his back foot there and he actually slipped when he went to take off, so he made up ground very quickly.
Certainly think that's one thing we'll see from Queensland is intelligent calling and good running between the wickets in terms of their pace. So if Dearness is going to do anything for the rest of this innings to make up for that unusual approach off the first ball, let's get his running right.
One of Queensland's strengths always been the running between the wickets and the way that they call. It probably saves them 3 or 4 wickets per game. In the end, that could be a telling factor.
So Brock Winkler, having bowled his second over, finishes with figures of 2 for 5. And umpire Michael Guest spotting an open zip at the back of the court as Timmy Floros comes into bowl to Reece Dearness.
What a sensational delivery.
Yet another brilliant piece of keeping there from Grant McDonald. Reece Dearness just lifting his foot and a stumping. What a start to the over.
He's actually taken one step down and he's gone to drive it and he's lifted his head and missed the ball completely. He's gone straight through and the keeper said, "Thank you very much."
Good decision to not run there, and so a dot ball. So in 6 ball over games, it seems that this tournament, the average winning score has been about 95. That, in fact, is exactly what the ACT scored in the major semi-final. At this stage, what do you think Queensland need to get to be competitive?
I would suggest that Queensland need a minimum of 75 runs. If they get to 75 runs, they're in the game. Like as you said, traditionally, the ACT Queensland games, there have been some low-scoring games over the years, and this could be another one. So we could be in for an absolute cracker.
Good delivery there from Timmy Floros.
And it's straight over Galloway's hip there. Galloway was hoping that was drifting down leg side, but just cut inside the line.
Two balls remain in the over. Another great delivery from Timmy Floros.
And a third ball for the ACT.
So 1 for -4 off this over so far. 3 dot balls in it. And as you say, Greg, it's now third ball. This is a huge moment in this game. Very full. Galloway backing away, giving himself some room, and drives flat into his offside net for 2.
Yeah, I think he was actually trying to replicate what Vanessa Bennett did earlier. I think he was trying to bowl an outswinger, a wide outside off stump. But he just started it on leg side and it straightened up and allowed Galloway to get it. So I think the thought process was fine. I just think he was a little bit unlucky with the execution.
You may see at the bottom of your screen there the coach Billy Floros coming up to give some instructions to his young charge and nephew in Benji, who will bowl now the 11th over to Corey Galloway. Very short.
Yeah, it's too short, way too short.
Benji did bowl that sort of a length very effectively to Adam McDermott in the major semi-final when McDermott was trying to drive to rescue Queensland. I'm not sure that it's necessary to Galloway at this stage of the game.
Yeah,
Good
but
shot there from Dennis.
as we alluded to before, the more the ACT have pitched the ball up, the better the results have been. They've only looked a little bit ordinary when the ball's been short of a length, and Queensland have looked very comfortable with that.
Desperate fielding there from Benji Floros. Unlucky that slipped out of his hands for 3, but he certainly saved 2 runs.
But again, even though that was up, it was still there was still a chance of the play of that. So the ACT need to keep that ball up there. Need to keep the pressure on Queensland. That's just too easy.
It is, and you're right, Greg. Queensland may have got off to a poor start, but they're not going to gift this game to the ACT, and certainly not if the ACT let up and stop bowling the right areas.
If the ACT bowl well, and if they bowl at the right length and the right line, they could restrict Queensland to 55, 60 runs, and certainly make it a lot easier on themselves when they go out to bat. But if they let Queensland get to 75 and 80 runs, they're going to have a fight on their hands all the way to the end.
No mistake made by Vanessa Bennett this time. The ball hitting the top net and falling down safely into his hands. Galloway going for the big shot. 12-run turnaround, -5. To finish the over, Benji finishes with 1 for 3 off that over and figures of 1 for 12.
Yeah, I think that over was a big plus for the ACT. If he's ended up with only 3 runs off it, it wasn't the greatest over that he's bowled, but a rash shot at the end there from Queensland probably made it look a lot better than what it actually was.
Yeah, I'm probably a little bit disappointed to see Queensland going for the big shots as well. I think that if they worked the twos, respected the good balls, they'd be more than safe in being competitive defending a low total.
Yeah, that's right.
I don't think they need to get up to the 75. It'd be nice, but Queensland more than capable of defending 50. So that's where they need to get.
Unbelievable. Dearness has straight driven that back down. It's come off of Floros' hand straight into Vanessa Bennett. Thanks for coming.
Dearness cannot believe it. To be fair to the ACT, and Dearness may not believe that was a catch, but if it wasn't caught, he would have been run out. So,
oh no, it was caught.
Yeah. Scamper through for a single to Queensland, with Galloway fending it away into the back corner for 1. There are 3 balls remaining in this partnership now, and unbelievably, Queensland are on 24 with this pair on -6.
This pair's done exactly the same as the previous 2 pairs. Got themselves into trouble, fought themselves back out and put themselves in a position to go on and score 20, 25 runs, but then have just played a couple of rash shots and brought the ACT straight back into it.
Just through the leg side field there, so 2 runs to Galloway. Brings the score back to 29. This pair still on -1.
But if you have a look at it over the course of the week, and if you have a look at the performance so far, I'd say that the strategies that Billy Floros has put in play have been absolutely, basically word perfect, and everything seems to be falling into place for them.
they score a single from the final ball and take the partnership to a 0, the score remains on 30 for Queensland. And you're quite right there, Greg. We talked a little bit earlier about the experience that Billy Floros brings to the role, and one of the strengths that he as a coach is not just his experience and the way that he looks at the game, but his ability to articulate that plan and that vision and get the best out of his players to execute it. It's a talent that not every coach has, and I think that we saw at the World Cup in Wellington when Billy was working with Ross Gregory, that combination, you can't get any better than that. Those two saw the Australian side complete an absolute demolition of the New Zealand side in the final, all based on that approach.
Oh yeah, correct. But I spoke to Billy a couple of years ago about this side, and he said to me from day one that this was a work in progress, and he said it'd probably take him two to 3 years. Well, this is the 3rd year, so I'd say he's right on the money.
Yeah, does plan for the long term. Now Matt Latham's coming into bowl. This will be his 2nd over, remembering that his first over there were 3 wickets for -11. Andrew Boyle is at the wicket for Queensland. His batting partner is Searle, who did not play the major semi-final against the ACT. Good piece of fielding there from Brock Winkler. Probably a fraction wide there from Latham. Boyle did well to get that away for 1.
Did well to get up and keep that off the net. I didn't think he was going to get there. I thought he'd overrun it.
Sprightly little fella is Brock Winkler. It's 2 balls in a row there that Winkler's fielded the ball well and demonstrated to the Queensland side how quick they need to be between wickets to ensure that they're home safely. 2 runs so far off the over.
The 2 Queensland batsmen, there's contrasting batting styles here. If you have a look at Boyle, he's batting outside leg stump basically, and if you have a look at Searle, he's actually batting on off stump. So one's moving across and the other one's already there waiting for it.
Great piece of fielding there from Matt Floros in the front court. The throw was probably wide, but I think Searle home anyway. That puts Queensland on 3rd ball.
That was a great example of Queensland running or non-running between the wickets. There was a loud call of no from Boyle because he knew he never got good contact on that and allowed Searle to get back home. Most other teams that would have been -5.
Very fortunate there for Queensland, that ball falling far enough away from Matt Floros that he couldn't affect a run out at either end. So they hurried through for a single. Just 3 runs off this over so far with 1 ball remaining.
This is another big over for the ACT. They're going great guns here today.
Off the net again, so 4 singles from that over. A good one, as you say, for the ACT, but I think the Queensland batting pair will be happy with that, and that's kind of what I like to see. Is they're not doing anything silly. They haven't come out tried anything flashy. They're just going to ease their way into this game and hopefully keep building the score for Queensland.
I would suggest that this pair's been told to get us to 55 or 60 runs. If you can get us there, we're in the game with we've got a shout, you know. But if this pair fails and if they come out and they're not at least 40 runs, 45 runs or whatever, they're in a world of hurt.
Vinesh Bennett will come on and bowl the 14th over now for the ACT. Too much width there from Vinesh Bennett and an easy 2 runs for Searle.
Yeah, he played that well, put his front foot beside the ball, down and up into the net, no chance to affect a run out.
Just check in on Twitter, #IndoorOpens. Darren Wade says the Rockets have Queensland rattled and they should sweep the leg and take them to the mat. 3 runs there from Boyle, and that perhaps demonstrates that you can't write Queensland like off that. I'm sure Darren Wade, a former ACT Rocket, will like to.
That was a great shot by Boyle. No chance for the fielder and strolled through for an easy 3.
Good response from Vinesh Bennett. Far too much control, straight through the gate.
A very, very ordinary shot by Searle though. Like he's played straight across that. Like didn't deserve to be played onto the leg side, that ball. He either should have just played it straight back down the track, run through, taken an easy one. They're just bringing the ACT back into this game by their own mistakes.
That's a fairly good answer from Searle, but he shows what he can do when he has enough width. 3 runs again. Searle playing his first tournament at the open men's level for the Queensland side, so maybe showing a little bit of that inexperience with the previous delivery.
Yeah, absolutely. Great shot there by Boyle. Front foot straight down the pitch, played it into the 2 net.
Final ball of the over for Vinesh Bennett. And finishes with a leg side. He won't be happy with that.
No.
1 for 7 off the over.
It was a tight call as well.
So Bennett finishes with figures of 2 for 3. And the Queensland batting pair have made their way to 11 and taken the total to 41. They're on track to get the total to something competitive. If they keep batting the way that they have been, with the exception of that shot from Searle, they can do the job for Queensland.
Oh, they need a minimum of 60 runs. If they don't get 60 runs, they'll struggle with this because the ACT have got too much experience and too many decent batsmen in the side to come away with anything less than that.
Now Grant McDonald's coming on to bowl the 15th over. His first over of the match wasn't a good one, 12 runs from it. Let's see how he responds with his second.
Much better length.
And line, no width at all, nice and tight into the hip there. Well, probably lucky that didn't go through onto the stumps. Oh, great piece of fielding from Vinesh. Probably didn't realise there was a chance for a run out there, but I think they'd be happy to restrict that to 1.
Yeah, I actually I thought that was going to sneak past him for 4, and all of a sudden stuck out the big mitt and pulled it in quite comfortably in the end.
It's a great piece of bowling once again from Grant McDonald. He's really responding for this over. Yeah, I have to agree with you, Greg. I thought that was going through to the back net there. Good piece of fielding from Vinesh Bennett. And a great shot from Searle.
Queensland have found themselves in this position before where they build an over and then they make a mistake late in the over. They need to make sure that they don't give a wicket up in the next 2 balls.
Wonderful piece of fielding from Timmy Floros, but can't hit the stumps, and Boyle quite possibly would have been home anyway with that dive. Another 2 to the score.
Yeah, Andrew Boyle is fairly sharp between the wickets. He's fairly sharp with the ball in hand too.
Great shot there from Searle for 3. He'd be happy with that. 8 runs off McDonald's over. It was much better than his first one. Probably the last couple of balls are not really reflective of the entirety of the over, but Queensland have fought their way back to 49 with an over to play.
Yeah, 49, and they'll be aiming for 60. They'll be aiming for 11 runs off this over, get themselves to 60, and then hope they can come out and field the house down. But if Queensland have any hope to win this game, any hope at all, they have to have watched how the ACT have bowled, and the ACT have shown them how to get wickets on this deck, and they need to replicate that. If they can't do that, they're in a world of hurt.
Luke Ryan will bowl the final over for the ACT. Searle on strike. It's a good start.
Absolutely.
Hayden Searle quite happy to just fend that one away, and Queensland not really interested in a run. Same result, and confusion between the batsmen. An easy run out for the ACT.
That's the last thing that Coach Brenton Bryant wanted to see in the last over of the match. Back down to 44 now. They'll do well to get to 50.
And Greg, you've said it. multiple times how Queensland have put themselves in a good position and then undone the hard work that they've done, and we just see that again with a unforced error.
Yeah, absolutely. Never hit that ball with any conviction. Ball wasn't that great a ball, but we just never hit it with any conviction.
Full and wide, beats the bat. The other thing to note from that play was how Matt Floros summed it up instantly. The ball was in hand quickly, and rather than turning around and throwing with that arm that he has, he knew he had all day to get that back to the stumps to Vanessa Bennett and affected the run out.
Oh, his game awareness was outstanding. You could see one batsman was behind him, the other one was in his face halfway down the pitch, so it was never going to be anything other than out. As you said, great thinking on his behalf. Made it a lot easier on his receiver to execute the out.
So 2 balls remain in the over. 1 for -4 from it so far. Queensland on 45 runs.
Oh, I think that's a little harsh.
Yeah, look, from our point of view, that looked a little bit fair, but all the ball has to do is catch any part of that leg side line as it passes the crease for it to be leg side. So Queensland get an extra delivery as well as those 2 runs now, so still 2 to come.
Queensland need an extra 20 deliveries.
Another great piece of fielding there from Matt Floros, but 2 runs for the Queensland side.
Last ball of the 16th over, Queensland 49 runs.
Boyle taking some time to compose himself after that dive. 1 more ball to face. Queensland take 2 runs to finish and get their total to 51. The ACT Rockets will need 52 runs to become national champions for the first time. Some key moments in that innings for you, Greg?
Oh, look, I think from the time they walked out on the court, I think they obviously had a very, very strong match plan. I think in general, I think the side fielded and bowled to the plan that the coaches put in place. Queensland had their chances to get themselves up to 80. Every pair was in a position to score more runs than what they did. But loose shots, casual batting, combine that with a good bit of fielding, and they got what they deserved, basically.
Now, you've spoken a bit about how you think that Queensland really need to get to have gotten to at least 60. They certainly haven't done that. Do you still rate them a chance at defending 51?
Oh, look, you're always in a chance to defend 51 at this level. Like, these guys can do some really exciting things in the field. They've got a good bowling attack, but it's going to come down to whether the bowlers can actually execute and then the field support them. But if the ACT get off to a 25-run start, something like that, and then all of a sudden psychologically the rest of your team's sitting there looking that we've got to get another 25, 26 runs between us, 8 runs a pair, I think that it'll be all over. So Queensland need to start very, very well.
Yeah, not only do I agree, but there seems to be a little bit of consensus about that out there in the Twitter sphere. Hashtag Indoor Opens. Jeff from North Queensland was expecting Queensland to score at least 60. So the fact that they haven't done that, as you say, really puts them on the back foot. So do join in our conversation. Hashtag Indoor Opens. Let us know what you think. We'll give you a quick update on the Open Women's Grand Final, which is happening on the other court. You can probably see Nicole Martin on the edge of your screen there, batting for Victoria. Victoria restricting South Australia to 38 on the back of a brilliant performance in the 3rd partnership there. So Victoria are only needing 39 runs to win. They went into the game as favourites, so I think they can safely say they're still in that position.
The ACT men's side, do you think that they have any absolute weaknesses with the bat, or everybody out there can hold a bat nice and solid?
Yeah, the side absolutely has a lot more depth, but not just depth, but also self-belief about their batting than they have ever before. There's a couple of batsmen not playing in this game. That just shows how large the depth is and how far it goes. I think the major semi-final against Queensland would have done the ACT side a world of good. They know that as the last time they played this team, they put 95 runs on the board against them. And an opening combination of Luke Ryan and Matt Latham. They've both enjoyed really strong tournaments so far, and I think they're going to get the ACT off to that start that you suggest might just put Queensland out of the game?
I'll be very interested to see what the ACD do with their batting pairs. Depending on what happens here, how they manipulate them, how they move them around. Do they keep their most experienced batsman Vinesh to the end? Do they put him in second and get him past the line? There's still a ways to go in this game yet.
Searle bowls to Luke Ryan. Nope. The umpire, Michael Guest, just stopping the game there. I think there was a glove missing for the keeper.
Adam McDermott is the wicket keeper and he goes on court without a glove. Good start.
Absolutely. Let's try this again. Hayden Searle to bowl, Luke Ryan at the wicket. Oh, confusion off the first ball for the ACT. They did not need that. It was a good shot from Luke Ryan. I think that there was a run there. I'm not sure why he didn't go.
Ryan's called no and the other chap's called yes, 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 yes. And there was certainly a run there, but they had to go from the onset. I reckon you could nearly attribute that to grand final nerves.
Yeah, definitely. I think that something that Luke's got in his favour is that he's got plenty of experience for a young guy and he won't let that affect him too much. I think misconception there, Matt Latham thinking he had to prevent that ball from hitting the stumps, that it hit the top net so he can't be bowled.
Good follow-up delivery by Searle though.
Yeah, it's important to note that Searle didn't play that major semi as we've said, so the Rockets didn't face his bowling in that game. And a front foot no ball called.
Yeah, in indoor cricket I call those coach killers. Like, there's just no excuse. You should never bowl a front foot no ball in indoor cricket.
Yeah, I mean, you're coming off, a maximum sort of 6-7 step run up.
It says you don't touch the line. It's not that hard.
Yeah. It's a good early call there from Matt Latham, calling Luke Ryan through for a single. 1 for -2 off the over so far with 2 balls remaining.
Another wicket in this over taken to -7. Queensland will be interested to see how this pair copes with something like that.
2 runs there to Luke Ryan. That ball just falling out of reach of Corey Galloway there at the leg side position, so able to get through for the run.
Galloway's an outstanding fielder. You don't want to be hitting the ball anywhere near him too often.
Last ball now. Latham happy to let it go. Very watchfully played, and that's the over. Things are level pegging after 1. 0 still on the board.
Just noticed there, if you have a look at Robbie Fitzgerald seems to be running in beside the batsman at the non-striker end, just crowding him a little bit, just letting him know that he's out there. So keep an eye on me, he's saying.
Yeah, Rob Fitzgerald has certainly been around for a long time. Been a fixture in the Australian side since 2003, if I'm not mistaken, and for such a young guy, that's a huge amount of experience. He'll know exactly what to say and when to say it and where to be. Andrew Boyle coming on to bowl for Queensland. Wonderful start. That's the second dot ball in a row.
Third ball been called. He was a little bit short, but because Boyle's got a little bit more pace than a couple of the others, he seems to be able to get away with a little bit with a shorter length.
Yeah, deflection there into the offside net for 2 runs. The Rockets will certainly take that.
He can contribute that to his batting partner, who just casually left a lazy leg there for him.
Yeah, pity about that.
Yeah. Good batting.
A smart call there. May have been a run there, but it would have been a risky one with 2 fielders on the leg side, and especially of the calibre of Byrne and Galloway.
Galloway's got an arm. He's got an arm like a rocket. So I'm suggesting that would have been out.
Good call there and a misfield anyway.
He straightened him up. Nice outswinger there. Straightened him up. Just run it down into the corner. Played it with soft hands and not a lot of pace on the ball. That's what's got him there.
been a good start from Queensland so far. Both Searle and Boyle bowling very tight, making it difficult for the ACT to get them away. And again.
Another great delivery from Boyle.
Final ball of the over, 3 runs off it so far. Luke was not quite off the mark very quickly there, but it went through the field, so 2 runs. And they get 5 off the over and take the total to the same.
Yeah, they'll take that. Like after their first over, to get 5, it's not the greatest score, but it brings them back into the game and it's got them moving in the right direction. But if you have a look at how far Ryan's batting back in his crease and he's playing everything off of his back foot, I'd suggest what Queensland are trying to do is get him on his back foot, get him playing some defensive shots into the front third, and they really think they're a chance of running him out.
We spoke a lot about the ACT strategy and their ability to execute it. Queensland are going to do exactly the same thing. They'll have a plan, and I'll be very surprised if it's not executed as well as the ACT have done. Landrigan to bowl the 3rd over. A little bit of width there. Strange for a field that they've set. The 2 runs for Ryan.
Yeah, like 2 guys on the leg side and you bowl 1 outside off stump. That's a little bit short. I'm sure that's not what they were hoping to achieve.
It's what you call a captain killer, that one.
Much better delivery.
Yeah, good call from the ACT to not run there.
That had some hoop on it. It came in very late.
Certainly did. Very flashy, edgy shot there. Into the net though for 2.
It explains why Langridge's bowling on, got 2 guys on the leg side, like he's bowling big innies. He just needs to get them a little bit more onto middle stump and bring them into the pads. Bring those fielders into play.
Very well kept out by Ryan, and gee, Landrigan's moving that ball.
Yeah, great delivery, great delivery. I don't understand why Ryan's playing so deep in his crease though. He literally played that from behind the line. Oh no, he seems to have moved forward a little bit here.
There's that line you're talking about, Greg. That's what Landrigan's been trying to do all over, and he's managed to do it there, the second last ball, and he's put them on 3rd ball now.
Should just do exactly the same thing that he did on that last ball. Bring his field into play, put the pressure on the batsman to make sure that they get good contact on the ball.
A good defensive shot there from Luke Ryan. Down and high up into the front court there, but just a single. A good way to see off 3rd ball. Another 5 runs for the over. Not exactly scoring at a prolific rate, but this is all they need to do.
Absolutely. They've got 10 runs, which puts them 2 in front of Queensland at the same time. All they've got to do is just keep their noses in front all the way along. Queensland 3rd pair scored 0, so whatever the ACT scores in there should take them up towards their total, you would think.
Now, Rob Fitzgerald's coming on to bowl the 4th over for Queensland. In the major semi-final, he bowled a sensational over at the exact same stage. So this is an important over in the match. Both sides will be keen to get in front at this point.
Oh, absolutely. Queensland will be extremely keen to keep the ACT under 8 runs if they possibly can.
There's a big moment in that match. Run out at the top end. Latham not happy. Very tight call.
I'm not quite sure. I don't know whether he actually had the ball, but he certainly sold it to the umpire like he did.
Be interested to have a look at that replay. But nevertheless, that's what Queensland needed. Goes down in the book as a run out.
umpiring in this game's been very good to this point. That's probably the first questionable call, and I'm still not sure that he's wrong.
And again, 2 run-outs, both from Corey Galloway's arm in the front court there. You called it early, he's got a rocket arm, and there's 2 run-outs. ACT back to 0.
Well, if Fitzgerald's capable of doing anything, he's capable of bowling to his field, and that's exactly what he's done on both occasions here, and it's certainly the over that Queensland need.
Yeah, much better shot from Luke Ryan, gave himself time to hit that one high into the net, so took Corey Galloway out of the equation, gets 2 runs for his side. See Matt Latham just nodding his head there, respecting that delivery. So a dot ball. I tell you what, if there's one player on this entire court that can turn a game on its head, it's Rob Fitzgerald.
Yeah, he's certainly capable of doing it, and he likes the big moments, that's for sure.
2 balls remain. He sends his offside fielder a little bit squarer. Relatively easy single there for the Rockets.
ACT need to ensure that they don't get out this delivery. They don't need Queensland on a high when the Nets batsmen come in. Even if they just leave it, do whatever they do. If they got 3s, keep them on the board, keep them positive. But they don't want to be walking off this board in a minus situation.
Couldn't agree more, and Rob Fitzgerald making Luke Ryan wait. Continues around the wicket. And the Rockets, very tentative, no call there. A very, very good start for Queensland. They have well and truly kept themselves in this match with that performance.
Yeah, absolutely. That's certainly the start Queensland were looking for. Most of it can be attributed to good bowling and good fielding. So not so much that the ACT did a great deal wrong out there, that Queensland executed their bowling plans quite well.
Vinesh Bennett and Timmy Floros coming out to bat second for the ACT, as they did in the major semi-final. So Billy Floros sticking with that arrangement.
Yeah, this is a crucial pair for the ACT. Whilst they only need 49 more runs to win the game, this pair needs to get them up around the 20 runs, 25 runs. If they can do that, there'll be a lot of guys sitting on the sideline breathing a lot easier.
Jeff from North Queensland on Twitter again says a good start for Queensland. Hashtag indoor opens to join in the conversation. Reece Dearness will bowl this over for Queensland.
Just had a text message from Michael Ridgewell, Queensland and New South Wales. He said Queensland are batting identical to the New South Wales in 2012 national final. Great starts and then wickets. Killed them every time.
Start there for Vinesh. Too short. Easily dealt with by him. Reece Dearness highly effective for Australia in the World Cup final. 3 for -10 off his first over. Yeah. Quite capable of destroying solid batsmen.
This is a big pair for the ACT. Queensland will know that as well, because Bennett's batted under extreme pressure for most of his career and done it at the various highest level and been very, very successful. So they know that if they can tie him down, that'll send a message to the rest of the ACT batsmen that game's on.
Shot from Timmy Floros. Yeah, Vinesh probably didn't start the tournament as strongly as he would have liked with the bat. He's of course been consistent as always with the ball, but he's been finishing strong and batting well, so absolutely a key player in a key moment.
Oh, absolutely. But he does that all of the time, though. He quite often starts an event slow and grows into it, but by the time the big game comes around, he's going really well.
Leg side there from Dearness as he pushes it down behind Vinesh Bennett's legs. 2 balls remain in the over, 5 runs from it so far. Well, that was a great shot by Vinesh Bennett, a great piece of fielding there from Queensland, and a great dive from Vinesh. If he was out, it was only because his bat lifted as he hit the ground, but I think safe.
I don't think he was out. But if you have a look, any young player out there, if you have a look at the way Bennett played that, he waited and waited and waited on it. He played it so late, and then just down and up into the net. Like, it was a good delivery, and Bennett played it very, very well.
Shot there from Timmy Floros, got into position for that very early. 2 runs to finish the over, so 9 runs from it, a good start for the ACT.
Yeah, exactly what they want. Now the ACT, what they need to do now is not what Queensland did. Queensland would get a reasonable start in the first over of a pair, and then all of a sudden make a couple of loose mistakes and go backwards. If they can score another 7 or 8 runs off of this over, they'll be making Queensland change their bowling plans, maybe bowling different bowlers in different orders, and it'll put the pressure back on them.
Now Andy Burns coming on to bowl for Queensland. Didn't have the best match with the ball in the major semi. Need to lift here. Starts well. Played behind square into the back net by Floros for 1. With the nets as tight as they are, that's a risky shot with 2 on leg side if you don't get it high enough.
Yeah, the fielder's still got to get it out, and at least making the fielder play as opposed to just giving them an out. That's just too easy for Bennett.
Yeah, bread and butter. He's not going to care how many fielders you put off his legs if you're going to bowl there to him. And really well left by Timmy Floros. Byrne pushing it down leg side.
You can nearly attribute that leg side wide to the shot that Bennett played previously. He just forced him just to push it that little bit tighter, that little bit tighter. In the end, he overdid it and pushed it straight down leg side.
That's a great shot there from Timmy Floros. Full enough that he was able to do it, but played it late enough that it was high into the net for 2 runs. These 2 batting comfortably so far.
And batting sensibly. Yeah. Playing each ball on its merits, and that's exactly what they should have been doing.
Very full in a game. Vinesh Bennett waits. A very patient batsman. Waited for it to come to him.
Just plays it so late. Just plays it so late. And in the end, it just gives him maximum time to pick his spot and to place the ball. And that's exactly what he did.
1 to come in this over. 9 runs from it so far. An edge. Slightly quicker ball from Byrne. Surprised Timmy Floros. The ACT get 2 runs off it, however, and 11 runs off the over. Another good one. This pair have moved to 20 runs off 2 overs.
Yeah, that's outstanding. They just need to keep it going. They can back Queensland out of the game, this pair. They've taken 20 off the first 2. They take 20 off the next 2. All of a sudden, they're at 43. A big mountain to climb.
And the Queensland captain brings himself on to bowl the 7th over in a crucial stage of the game. ACT batting well, but things still in the balance.
This will be an interesting over here. If he lands them, he could do anything.
Good intent there from Timmy Floros, but very nearly run out at the top end.
I'd say that if he hits, he's out.
Yeah. Timmy Floros, not a big diver. Would have been found short.
I don't blame him. That's hard, mate.
Yeah, I don't dive for anyone, which is a shame because I can't bat either. Oh, well kept out by Vinesh Bennett. Good ball there from McDermott. I really need their captain to produce something special here to Queensland.
He's pushing them through a little bit quicker tonight. It's a fair delivery.
I think that dipped on Vinesh Bennett as well, and dipped late. So the ACT on 3rd ball now. McDermott bowling well. Bennett composes himself. McDermott comes in.
Too short.
Yeah, Bennett quite happy to take one from that. That was an excellent delivery, and Timmy Floros almost just trying to keep that out. Ended up getting enough bat on it that they got away with a run.
They hit it bad enough that it never went to the field quick enough.
Final ball of the over. Another good delivery from the Queensland captain, but Vinesh Bennett sees it out safely. A dot ball to finish. Just 4 runs off the over, but 24 runs.
Yeah, good over for Queensland.
We talked a lot, Greg, about how the ACT were most effective when they bowled that fuller length, and McDermott demonstrating that again. It's interesting to me how fearful a lot of teams, even at this level, are of bowling full. They're scared of being driven, but this game is a perfect illustration of why it can be so effective.
Oh, absolutely. But if you have a look at the difference between all of the batting pairs that have gone before it and this batting pair have got a very low mistake rate. They're playing each ball on its merits, and they're not playing any loose shots, and as a result they're 24.
Galloway comes on to bowl. Timmy Floros just in position of that very early and high into his leg side net for 2 runs.
Great call there from Bennett.
Yeah, the reaction time on that's incredible. A lot of batsmen will run on contact. He's seen that hit the fielder straight away and stopped. Timmy Floros responding. Good work from the ACT. Is that late shot again from Vinesh? Single. The ACT move to 30 runs now. Still 3 to come in this partnership. Very aggressive call from Floros. Good response from Vinesh Bennett, and they're through for another single.
Did you have a look at the way Michael Fitzgerald's just wandered across the pitch there just to create a little bit of traffic for Floros? Just to say, hi buddy, how you going? I'm still here.
Indeed. Good call from Vinesh. He got it through the field, but quite happy for that to be a dot.
That's because he wasn't that confident it was through the field.
And a good aggressive call once again. The ACT take a single from the last ball, take 29 runs for the partnership and move the total to 32, just 20 runs shy of victory, Greg Donnelly.
Yeah, like outstanding batting. They've given the ACT to the opportunity, put his team in the box seat. It's, from here on in, it's the ACTs to lose. I don't think it's Queensland's to win. I think it's the ACTs to lose. And traditionally, ACT sides have always been very strong with the bat. And the way these guys have played during the course of the week, I'd indicate that this side's very similar to all those that have gone before.
Indeed, it was a great performance from Timmy Floros and the ACT vice-captain in Vinesh Bennett. Let's check in on Twitter, #Indoor Opens. Rob says that Timmy Floros is batting practice. He should stop making it look so easy. John Rogers says, go Rockets, keep it going boys. And Last Man Stand suggests that although I can't bat, I can man-cat. So maybe that's a feather in my cap, Greg.
Oh, I don't know. I'm not even going to go there. I'll leave you with that one.
Now the ACT captain, Matt Floros, comes out with Brock Winkler. They'll face Reece Dearness. My apologies, Landrigan. Dearness is the back stumper.
Good delivery down leg side, just inside the leg side line. Provided an opportunity there, but Floros never lifted his back foot.
Yeah, Floros, another one of the ACT batsmen that loves to play it late, just gets into the perfect position and plays with power. Got an edge that time. Good bowling from Landrigan.
You've just put the commentator's curse on him.
Oh, mate.
He's got a leading edge into the side net.
Oh, but he did it with power.
Okay, if that's what you reckon.
Yeah, got to acknowledge the bowling there. That's really good from Landrigan. Matt Floros
First left-hander to come in for the ACT. This will be interesting.
Yeah, Brock's an aggressive player. He is high risk, high reward. He's hit a lot of sevens for the ACT. Look at the leg side field for Queensland, very deep. Way outside off stump and an easy 2 runs there. Get the sense that they understand that Brock likes to drive, so their leg side field to him had what was almost a deep, straight mid-wicket. In sharp contrast to the field they've set for Matt Floros.
Well, the bowler certainly didn't do his fielders any favour by bowling that delivery.
No. Great shot there from Matt Floros and well kept off the net by both the bowler, Landrigan, and the receiver in Reece Dearness. So just a single. So take a look at this field, Greg. Can Landrigan put it in the right place for it?
He's batting on leg stump.
Very full, very patient there from Brock.
Much slower delivery there.
I can see Brock's father here, one of the many ACT spectators to travel up from Canberra to watch the side in the final. Good to see that.
Yeah, we surveyed the crowd earlier. There's 95 people out in the crowd named Floros.
That was a top over from Landrigan, his second over for the match. Both of them going for none for 5. So the Rockets seeing, he's difficult to get away, but not allowing him to take a wicket, and that really sets an example of how the ACT have been batting for the most part versus how Queensland have been batting.
Yeah, absolutely. The difference between the ACT and Queensland is the ACT batsmen have valued their wickets. Queensland bowlers have bowled well, but in turn the ACT batsmen have batted well. They've been patient and they've just been picking them off.
Now Hayden Searles coming on to bowl the 9th, apologies, the 10th over for the match to Matt Floros. Well fended away through the field, very flat, but he picked the gap, got it through for 2, and Winkler responded early. I tell you, the batting thus far from the Rockets, and of course their performance in the field, has done one thing, and that's taken the home crowd advantage away from Queensland. Very quiet in here.
This is the quietest you would have heard a Queensland crowd, particularly in Queensland when their sides are in the final. They've done that very well, the ACT, and that's because they've played with so much discipline and so much control. I'm sure that Queensland won't be happy with the discipline and the control they've showed with either bat or ball at this particular point.
Good early call from Brock Winkler. Lots of traffic from Queensland, but Brock parts the seas and gets through. Single there. This pair doing really well so far, batting really watchfully.
Again, they're quite prepared just to take the ones.
Great job from Matt Floros there, just how early he gets into position to play that shot.
Too short from Searle though. Now again, short on these tracks. People are just getting inside, just playing them down and up into the net. ACT showed the way. Pitch it up.
There's that aggression from Brock. You can't give that out. I'm sorry, Queensland. That's optimistic.
When you've got 51 on the board and the other team's 42, you would appeal for anything.
Oh, mate, I don't know that you've ever seen me play, Greg, but trust me, I appeal for absolutely everything. So it's easy to say that when I'm commentating. You can't appeal for that. Great shot from Brock Winkler. That finishes the over with 2, but the shot prior to that one demonstrates exactly why they'd set that field for Brock. But the bowling hasn't been up to the field. 7 runs off Searle's over, so he finishes with figures of 1 for 7, and the Rockets now are within 8 runs of a national title.
If you go and have a look at, if you made the comparison, I don't know what the statistic is, but I think that the ACT's probably only been out twice or something up until this point. I'd suggest Queensland would have been out 5 or 6 times by now.
So the ACT's first pair lost 3 wickets, Queensland lost 13 wickets throughout their innings.
Yeah.
Very telling statistic.
Absolutely.
The Queensland captain comes back on to bowl. Full and wide. That Yorker length gets through Winkler. Too full on that occasion. And through for 2.
ACT bench is appealing down there, cheering for everyone at the moment, making sure that the umpire knew that grazed the net.
Got to let him know, sometimes they just need a little bit of help. A good shot from Floros, and he demonstrates there what coaches look for in batsmen is eye contact. So he's hit the ball, he's first looked to see where it's gone, and without really a call from Winkler, Floros knew he was coming by looking at him, and they get through for a single. That's a good delivery from McDermott and just really well played from Winkler.
Again, the ACT, if you have a look, they've just batted so patiently. Just taking the ball, playing each ball on its merits, not prepared to say no, send the batsman back. Just as I say that, air swing.
Well, I think Queensland have to realise that they're only a wicket or 2 from staying in this game.
Oh, absolutely.
That's all they have to do is just reverse the course of the match through a wicket or 2, particularly if they're in succession, and they're right back in it. Just soft hands there from Matt Floros. Did catch the back net first. So a single to finish. That's another over. That's the 5th over that has gone for none for 5 in this innings.
Yeah, absolutely, because they've just been building. They've got 51 on the board. They don't have to chase 100. They've only got to chase 52. And that's exactly what they're doing. I'm sure that Billy has just set them a target of 5, 6, 7 and over, something like that, and they'll get there, and they'll get there easily. But more importantly, the way that they've batted, they've taken the crowd out of the game. They've not let the field get all excited and all hyped up and get aggressive. Other than the first over, it's been all ACT.
You can see what they are doing is having a decent chat with the ACT batsmen.
Oh, yeah.
And it's absolutely an element of the game when, especially if the side is batting so well, you have to give yourself an in. And if you can do something to make the batsman think more about you than the ball he's about to face, well, you're doing your job as a fielder.
Oh, look, I'm sure they'd be telling what lovely weather we've got up here in Queensland, and it's a little bit chilly down there in the ACT, and hope they're having a good week.
Absolutely. As Galloway pushes that one wide. So the ACT goes in front of Queensland for the first time. And followed up with a 2. The important job that this batting pair have done now is they are taking, so far, a lot of pressure off the last pair for the ACT. And the fact that that last pair contains one of the youngest players in the tournament, Benji Floros, yes, he might be an Australian junior representative, but youth comes with inexperience, and that's an opportunity for Queensland to get back into the game. This pair is taking that opportunity away from them.
Yeah, but the other thing that this pair have done is have a look at the body language on the Queensland side. Like Queensland came out to field and they were bouncing up and down, they were keen, they were angry, they were aggressive, and they were certainly having a lot more chirp than what they're having now. They've just taken that out of the game. Plus they've made them change their bowling order in the way that they wanted. They would have seen their bowlers coming. I would bet you now that the last pair aren't getting the 4 bowlers that they would have thought they were going to get before the game started.
Yeah, quite right. We see that really the first chance this pair's offered, but they managed to get through for a single off that 3rd ball. And Brock hits a down up 2, but quite happy to call no. That pair puts on 25 runs and walk off the court with the ACT 6 runs in front of the Queensland total. Queensland will need to produce a negative pair here to win the match.
23 runs and 4 runs in front, buddy.
Sorry, they didn't take that 2, did they?
No.
I put it down as 2 in my score sheet.
Well, thankfully we're not using your score sheet.
Absolutely.
There's the ACT in you coming out.
Yeah, just trying to sneak an extra run here and there, but fortunately for me, the ACT don't need it. They're playing well enough that they don't need a administrator up here helping them out. So Grant McDonald and Benji Floros to do the job now for the ACT. They just need to continue on in the same vein that the pairs before them have done, and that's just take it away, take it easy.
Left to bowl. I've got Boyle, Dearness, Fitzgerald and Byrne, I think, have they?
Correct. So you think that they'd be looking to Boyle and Fitzgerald in particular to take wickets here?
This is a big over in the scheme of things.
Short and at him. Good start.
Well, he's come from around the wicket. I think they've shown their intentions to to McDonald.
And leg side, well left by Queensland, by Grant McDonald, I should say. You may hear a little bit of cheering happening in the centre. The Victorian side has just won the Open Ladies Championship in convincing fashion, 93-38. So congratulations to Victoria. Very good intent there from McDonald. Good footwork. One run.
Big moment for this young man.
Great shot from Benji, shows his class. Benji made his debut for the Rockets last year at the age of 16, playing in the Open Men's Division.
He made it look easy. Just stepped inside it, rolled his wrists on it, down and up into the net. Thanks for coming.
Great contact there from Grant McDonald once again, but almost a run-out chance due to the nets here. And Benji getting home. Not sure whether he would have been with a direct hit, but it would have been tight.
I think you can see by the way Queensland are going about things at the moment. The sting's basically gone out of them, and they need a couple of wickets, and they need them now.
Benji Floros, what a shot.
And you don't think the young man's fired up. He's given it the fist bump, he's given it everything. He's got 3 overs to go. I think he must be getting that off his brother Jason.
Well, his brother Jason, as we said, is here watching along with his parents. They'll be really proud of that, as well as his brothers also in the team, and his cousin, and his uncle.
Yeah.
They're all here.
That's it.
But at 17 years of age, to his first 2 balls in a national final, hit a down up 2 and a down up 3, and make it look like he's been playing for 20 years. Incredible effort. And Queensland have had no choice but to throw the ball now to Rob Fitzgerald. They need a massive over from him now.
This is the last throw of the dice for Queensland. If Fitzy can't pull out a minus over here, Queensland are gone.
Yeah, I agree. He's the man to do it. Benji Floros takes position. Fitzgerald bowling around the wicket. And straight through the young Rocket. It's a great delivery. Benji probably playing across the line there.
Yeah, ball was pitched up once again. He's played across the line, and the Queensland captain, Adam McDermott, just walked past Benji and asked him if he was having a good day, and what's he doing tonight?
Yeah.
Oh, he's still having a chat.
Continuing that inquiry.
Yeah, just seeing how things are going for the day.
So, great start from Fitzgerald.
He's fairly bashful, Adam. He doesn't usually say much.
Now leg side.
The worst possible response from your bowler. You create a wicket, you create the pressure, and then you just give them 2 runs. Just release the pressure.
Yeah, very good delivery there again from Fitzgerald.
Yep.
Correct call of fair from the umpire. You'll have to excuse the escalating noise in the centre as the Victorian women are joined by the Open men and some of their LT's players as they celebrate their victory, and rightly so. Good call from Floros as he hits that through for a single. I apologise if I'm coming through very loud, but I can barely hear myself, so I'm probably raising my voice. 2 balls to come in the over from Fitzgerald. They need 2 wickets here. Misfield from Fitzgerald, but a dot ball.
Dot balls aren't what Queensland need. Wickets are what they need. Yeah, well played. He waited on that. Waited, and he just played it down up into the net. Strolled through for an easy 2.
Yeah, look, Fitzgerald did what he could in that over, but the Rockets up to the task, and both McDonald and Floros head over to the coach now for a quick drink and some last-minute instructions. They don't have to do anything too fancy. They've got to contend now with Reece Dearness by the looks of it.
2 overs to go, 12 balls. Queensland need minus 14 runs. I'm thinking we need divine intervention is what we need.
Yeah, we talk about minor miracles, and I use the phrase in the LT's final. I'll use it again now. That's probably a major miracle they need at this point.
Absolutely.
Dearness coming into bowl. Hit flat. The slap from Searle over the keeper.
ACT are just about to administer the last rites for Queensland. I can hear the ambulances coming down the road now, so I'd say it's just about over.
Guess the ACT boy in me doesn't want to put that nail in the coffin quite yet, but I'm thankful that you're doing it. Great shot once again by Benji. He's composed himself really well after that being bowled by Rob Fitzgerald.
Oh, look, we've got an over and a half to go, but as a true Queenslander, I will concede defeat, but I will say that I'm extremely happy for the ACT, and I'm extremely happy for Billy Floros and the team down there, because they've worked very hard to build this side over a number of years, and this is a just reward. And they're still a very, very young side. So I would suggest that everybody else out there, I'd say you'd be looking at a side that could stay together for a while and give everybody a little bit of grief.
Yeah, definitely, and it's been a long time coming from the ACT. It's actually their first appearance in the national final since 2007, where they narrowly lost to Western Australia. And you may have noticed that the Rockets wear their playing number on the back of their shirt, so that number represents the order in which they've represented the ACT. So there have been 99 individuals that represented the ACT at the Open men's level, and every single one of those players owns a piece of this title today.
Yeah, well, they've all contributed to the history down there, and yeah, wonderful to see.
3 runs, 4 runs from Benji Floros. The other thing to note for the ACT is it's a very small setup down there. We have a limited number of centres. We talk a lot about the Floros family, but they've been not just a mainstay in terms of producing quality cricketers, but supporting this level of cricket in Canberra for a long time, and they've allowed these players to play enough indoor cricket, and they've supported them enough that they can be here today and put this sort of performance on the board.
Oh, it's a great performance. It's a great performance, and you know, their win's been thoroughly deserved. They've been the best side all week. They've been the best coached. They've been the best drilled, and you can see they're reaping the rewards for that. But just a little highlight from the over before, when Floros has put one onto the back net off for Dearness. He's just turned around to Mr. McDermott and said, "How's your day going, Tiger?" "Mine's going not bad."
Absolutely, and I can't fault Queensland for having that chat with him, but when it doesn't work and the ACT walk away with a national title, it can come back at you just as easily.
And just as quickly. Okay, it's now a major, major miracle.
5 wickets needed.
Yep.
And it looks to me like Benji Floros quite happy to decline the extra delivery there.
The best we're going to get at the moment is a power outage, and that's the only hope we got.
As Queensland fans scurry looking for the power box. Well bowled by Byrne, but too little too late. The ACT now just 4 deliveries away from raising their first Australian national title.
4 deliveries, 4 wickets, they still win the game.
Another leg side, and again, Benji Floros declining it. I don't know about you, but I'm a fan of even when you're winning, you call for the ball again. You've got to get your money's worth.
I don't know. I think that when you're this far in front, unless of course you're from the ACT and you're trying to make a point.
A great shot by Benji Floros. What a superstar of the game he is going to be. Just 17 years of age. He's just scored his 14th run in a national final. 2 balls now remain.
And he's done it with a whole heap of maroon chat too. So yeah, he's done well.
Dominant shot from McDonald and gets run out. Great piece from Dearness. A wry smile from McDonald. About the only thing that wicket does is affect Grant McDonald's statistics for the week, and I'm sure he's not going to care about that when he takes a share in lifting the trophy tonight.
Absolutely. And
there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. The Australian Capital Territory are the Australian national champions, having defeated Queensland 74 to 51. What a remarkable performance from this side. What are the key moments in the game for you, Greg Donnelly?
Oh, the key moments from ball one. Even when they were in the fielding, they were disciplined, they were structured. They did exactly the same with the bat. They never really let Queensland into the game. The downside for Queensland was that they were the opposite. They weren't disciplined, particularly with the bat. They had their opportunities and they never took them. And the ACT have made them pay, and pay dearly.
They certainly have. And for me, the moments where the game changed are where Queensland threw away those starts. Not just starts early in the pair, but the recoveries that those pairs later put on. 51 runs, yeah, you'd like to think that a Queensland side could defend that at this level, but against a side like the Rockets, who put 95 runs against them in the major semi-final, they were never going to be able to defend that.
To defend 51 runs in any game, particularly a national final, is a big ask. You've got to have everything to go your way to do that, particularly if the side batting second is well coached, well drilled and disciplined. And that's exactly what the ACT did. The only sniff Queensland had was in the first pair, and from then on in, the next three pairs did basically nice disciplined cricket, picked them off one at a time, never tried to hit the case off of it, and did it easy.
Now we talk about how the Rockets have got a young side, and they've just moved their way to the, they've just demonstrated that they've got a side for the future as they applaud their audience that have travelled here to Queensland. Great job, Rockets. We talk about how they're a side for the future. How do Queensland respond to this loss?
Queensland will go back to the drawing board. They had a few players, they had a few injuries during the course of the week. There's a lot of depth up here in Queensland. I'm sure that there are players knocking on the door to get into this side. Maybe it's a time that for the coaching staff and for the administration of Queensland to have a look at their plans and have a look at what's gone on. They may change a couple of things, they may not, but you can be rest assured they will be reviewing everything that's gone on. So they were expected to win this, they wanted to win this, and they simply weren't good enough.
Now we'll stand by, ladies and gentlemen, to bring you the presentation ceremony for both the Open Men's and the Open Women's Grand Finals. We'll just do a quick check-in on Twitter to see the reaction from all of you out there in the Twitter sphere. Hashtag Indoor Opens, and unsurprisingly, there's a lot of spectators coming in from Canberra with Pete Bowman and Last Man Stands, Rob, Jason, David O'Keefe. Eloise is proud of the Victorian girls. Lots of good coverage, but Jason, I agree with Jason Wilcock. He says Benji made that look easy.
I've just had a message from a friend of mine, Rexy Weaver from Beanlee, said never give up on Queensland. I said, well, sorry Rexy, I never actually gave up, but the result speaks for itself. There's not a lot I could do to help him, mate.
That's right. You have to, Queensland certainly gave themselves a chance with that performance in the first pair, but the next three pairs for the ACT, led by Vinesh Bennett and Timmy Floros in that second pair, just took the game away from Queensland, and it's a well-deserved title. And as we were saying earlier, it comes as a result of the 20-something years that this Rockets team has been building since they first entered the competition. And I said it before, I'll say it again, to all of the former ACT Rockets that are out there listening, all 99 of you have got a share of this title. I know that former ACT coach Steve Hart will be listening as well. He built a platform that Billy has been able to expand upon. So my congratulations not just to Billy and the 12 players and the officials that have joined Billy, but also to everyone that's had a piece of the Rockets over the last few years. And our congratulations as well to the Victorian women. But I think, Greg, you and I will leave it there. We'll hand you over, ladies and gentlemen, to the on-court ceremony, which will commence soon. So do stay with us. We hope you've enjoyed the coverage of the Australian Indoor Cricket Championships on indoor.cricket.com.au and on the Cricket Australia Live app. Make sure you tell your friends and family about the games that'll be on the website soon, and look out for the Junior World Series that'll take place in September later this year. But for now, for Greg Donnelly, for the rest of the broadcast team, I'm Cameron Walter.
We'll get started now on the final presentations for the 2015 Cricket Australia Australian Open Indoor Championships. Some outstanding cricket we've seen since last Saturday night, culminating in 4 grand finals today, and some more outstanding cricket being played. Some of the best cricketers in the world on display over the course of the last 7 days. We've had some really good crowds throughout the course of the week and some outstanding numbers of people watching the live stream over the course of the last couple of days, and I'm sure they've seen and witnessed some outstanding cricket. So congratulations to all the teams that have played throughout the course of the week. As is often the case at the indoor championships, Queensland often go in as favourites, and to the 2 ladies teams that got through to the grand final in both Victoria and South Australia. No doubt one of you would have thought maybe you'd be playing against Queensland today, but both of you getting through to the grand finals, an amazing achievement, so congratulations to both South Australia and Victoria. Whilst it was a relatively convincing win today, it takes nothing away from the work that South Australia put in just to get here into to this week and throughout the course of the tournament, knocking off Queensland as well to make it. Sometimes is a little bit of a mini victory in itself just to make it through. So congratulations to South Australia as the runners-up. Perhaps if we can have maybe Angela or someone to come up and say a couple of words and introduce the players.
Just congratulations to Victoria. You were a lot better on the day, put the pressure on, and unfortunately we weren't able to match it today. To my girls, a great effort this week. To get to the grand final is a great effort, and the prelim last night, maybe we played our game too early, but it was a great effort anyway in getting there. So I'd just like to thank Ange for being a great coach over the last, God knows how many years, 5, 6 years. Couldn't do it without you, so thank you, and thank you to everyone who's participated this week, and yeah, good tournament. Thank you. VC, Jess O'Reilly, Stacey Oates, Tabitha Walrus, Elizabeth Hall, Carly Rattray, Ros Holden, Kiara Stockley, Donna Clark, Nicole Mentha, Angela Lee, Olivia Marno, and me. Woo!
And with that, there is no doubt convincing winners today for only the 4th time in the history of this competition. Victoria are the winners. Looks like the designated spokesperson is Nicole to come up and say a couple of words.
Firstly, thank you to Cricket Australia and Frank for hosting the tournament. It's been another great week. Congratulations to the under-17, under-20s girls. Well done on coming along and giving us a tournament. Thank you very much. South Australia, absolute fantastic effort over the last week, but also the last 5 years. You guys have come a huge distance in that time. and I hope you stay on the journey because you really are almost there. And I congratulate you on the week that you've had. Bad luck today, unfortunately, or fortunately for us, there has to be a winner and loser, but you guys are the winners. Last night was awesome. Well done to Queensland on their week as well in CA, but to my girls, fantastic effort. We had a process and we finished it. Well done. Awesome effort as a team. Thank you to Wayne, Tommy and HB. But most importantly, the spectators, the ones that watched at home and the ones that come to cheer us on today, thank you very much. Teammate. Shani. Laura. Tamsin. Ippy. Danny. Am I going too fast? Jessica. Bryony. Janelle. Kerry Ann Johnson. Amber. HB. And we'd be lost without these two, Tommy and Wayne. Thank you.
Just one more little piece of equipment that we'd like to hand over to the victorious Victorian ladies team, and that is the shield. Once again, give it a hand for Victoria. The Open men's standard is always extremely high, and this week we saw some outstanding cricket played once again. Queensland always come into this tournament as the team to beat. The last 16 years have won 12 of the titles, and they've earned the domination over a long period of time. So congratulations to Queensland on what you bring to this event. You always seek for the other teams to step up. So congratulations to Queensland for your efforts throughout the course of the week. But before we hear from the ACT team, just like to call up Brent to say a couple of words on behalf of his team and to hand over the medals. He's very happy about coming up here too. Thanks, Brenton.
I actually thought Lyle would be coming up, but of course he's not. Firstly, just thank you to all the teams that have participated in the Open men's tournament this year. We've seen some exciting young players come through, and hopefully we can see that continue over the next few years. Congratulations to South Australia, Western Australia, New South Wales, and especially South Australia, who really pushed us last night and nearly got themselves into a national final. So congratulations to all those 4 teams that have participated. To our boys, really good week. You know, as I said, sometimes you just can't win them all. And today we were beaten by a better team, and a really well-drilled team, really well coached, and they just played outstanding cricket all week. And for you guys to come out, a lot of you in your first national final, and play the way you did, it's a credit to you guys, it's a credit to ACT Cricket, and a hearty congratulations. Well done, guys. Captain Lyle Teskey. Adam McDermott. Rob Fitzgerald. Simon Landrigan. Hayden Searle. Andy Byrne, Lockie Shine, Adam Toussaint, Corey Galloway, Drew Royko, Andrew Boyle, Reece Dearness, our manager, Graham Macquarie.
The quality that was put on by the ACT team this week was not unexpected, but certainly they would have come with a little bit of trepidation, a little bit of excitement about what might have been able to be put onto the court this week. As Brenton said, a few new players into to this team, filled by half the Floros family as well. But there's no doubt, and words fail me as you can see, the quality that's put in today, and no doubt these guys will remember this for a long time. This is the first time that the ACT team will have held open the Open Trophy. Congratulations to ACT. Looks like both of them are pointing at each other, and Maddie pointed last. So Billy or Maddie, one of you. Billy's coming up to say a couple of words.
First, I'd like to thank Frank for hosting the Nationals. Another great job here. It's always nice to come to Queensland where it's warm compared to ACT's -6 degrees. I'd also like to thank, like Brenton said, all the other teams that participated. It made it a little bit easier, I think, with 6 ball overs compared to 8. But it was always a chance that one of the other teams was going to win. So it really brought it a little bit closer, which was good. I'd like to thank Brenton and his team again. We always like to have some good games, and we didn't disappoint this week. Commiserations on today. We just got up, which was nice, but I'm sure you will all be back. Great team and also well drilled, and something for next year, I guess. To my team, it was a long and hard training season for us. We train late at night, at 9 o'clock at night, and we train on weekends and do what we can, and finally all the hard work's paid off. So hopefully they can all stick together now and continue this trend and keep sitting up the top somewhere. So finally, I'd also like to thank all the supporters and everyone that travelled here. It doesn't happen without you coming and watching as well, and making it worthwhile, and the crowds getting into it. It's always good fun hearing people say stuff. Not. So yeah, look, thank you to everyone, and looking forward to tonight. I'll call everyone up. Matthew Floros, captain. Vinesh Bennett. Sam Lang. Matt Hewitt. Alex Bazana. Brock Winkler. Matt Latham. Luke Ryan. Timmy Floros. Benji Floros. Grant McDonald, Alexander Floros, Marie Hart, Andrew LaBelle, Jake Floros, and Stuart Salisbury.
The very last thing we'd like to do is hand over the Open Men's Shield to the winning coach, Billy Floros. To ACT. So to all those that have been tuning in by the live stream over the last couple of days, thank you for watching this fantastic indoor cricket tournament. To those that have come down to Strathpine, we appreciate you coming along as well. The next opportunity for the live streaming of indoor cricket is at the end of September, when the World Junior Indoor Series will be hosted at Toombul Indoor Sports Centre. So tune back in to see some of the best of the next generation playing this great game. Thank you.